This, as I mentioned, is one of the favorite sessions of attendees because you really get that inside look at our various student services throughout the College of Business and the services offered by some of our partners. And I'm going to call out a name, and if you could just introduce yourselves, tell a little bit about what you do and the kinds of questions or the areas of questions that you can answer for our panel. And then we're going to move full board into Q&A. Because I'm sure people who've stuck around this long have specific questions that they want to ask. Before I do so, though, I've been asked by Shakita from our last session, I see Shakita here again, hey, about an outstanding question that one of the attendees had about how difficult is it to get into large classes upon course registration. And the answer to that is you will get the course that you need to graduate. You may not get the time you want all the time, but you will definitely get the courses you need. And we have the people on this panel, AKA Emily Ford, who heads up our advising, who can give you more information about that. So if you have more specific, put that aside and get ready to ask. So I'm going to go on a round robin as you appear on my screen and introduce yourself, tell a little bit about your area of responsibility and the types of questions you're excited to answer today. I'm going to start with Emily Ford.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Ford. I'm the Assistant Dean for Undergraduate Programs here in the College of Business. Welcome to the Lehigh Business family. I oversee our advising team, so anything relating to academic advising, I can definitely answer your questions. We're a team of, there are 4 of us on our team who advise students, and we'll be connecting with you probably by the beginning of June at the latest to welcome you and to tell you a little bit more about how our team works. Each undergraduate is assigned an academic advisor in our office that will work with you throughout your time at Lehigh. Once you declare your major, you also get a faculty mentor in addition to your academic advisor, and we're excited to work with you. So any questions I would say about registration or classes or academic planning opportunities, I'm happy to answer.
Shakita Griffin.
Hey, hello, Shakita Griffin, the Associate Director in our Undergraduate Programs Office. My area is around professional development for our undergraduate students, and so really how that's incorporated within the curriculum, co-curricular, and how we're working closely. Karen will, of course, speak more about it with the Center for Career and Professional Development to prepare our students for their goals after Lehigh. So happy to answer any questions around again, the professional development for our students.
We did mention the student to professional program as a kind of high level in the first session. So that might be an area of questions folks have as well. Who next? Lori McLean.
I always act like it's a surprise. I know I've got to talk at some point. Hi, everyone. My name is Lori McLean. I'm the Associate Dean of Students, and I oversee academic life and student transitions. And just on behalf of the Student Affairs and Dean of Students Office team, just want to congratulate you all on your admission to Lehigh. I'm thinking it's doubtful that you all anticipated having to navigate the college application process in your senior year in the midst of a pandemic, but I'm glad that you are, that Lehigh was on your list and that you're here with us today. I oversee 4 offices within our Academic Life and Student Transitions wing. They include our Center for Academic Success and our Office of Academic Transitions. That's inclusive of our peer tutoring programs, study skills assistance, and academic coaching and support. I also oversee our disability support services area that provides academic accommodations under ADA guidelines for students with learning disabilities, physical disabilities, and other disabilities. And then last but not least is our Office of the First Year Experience that's responsible for new student orientation program, our new student orientation program, and then just other programmatic opportunities over the course of the year that support students' academic and social transition to the university. So I can answer questions under those umbrellas of academic support and transition, but then can also address just broader questions that fall under our Dean of Students Office areas that may include, community service, student conduct, residence life, fraternity and sorority affairs, student engagement, clubs and organizations, and such.
Just a little area.
Just a little.
Katie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Kresge. I am one of the associate directors in housing service. And just to echo Dean McLean's sentiments, congratulations on your admission to Lehigh. We're really excited to talk to you today. And my area of expertise, shall we say, is housing services. So we manage the residence halls as well as the fraternities and sorority housing on campus, as well as some graduate housing as well. We also do all of the billing for housing and meal plans. So I am happy to answer any questions you have today about housing or dining on campus.
And last but certainly not least, oh, we have two not last but certainly not least, Jodine Gemmel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jodine Gemmel, and I am the study abroad advisor for the students that are in the business school, as well as those students that are in computer science and business. I work in the study abroad office, obviously, and we have a team of 6. So we all advise by college. And then we also are part of the Office of International Affairs. So all things international. So I'm happy to answer about any type of international experiences that you're hoping to have at your time at Lehigh.
Terrific. And just when we think there can't be any more experts that could possibly be here to answer questions, I am thrilled to introduce to you Karen Kaczynski.
Thank you, Katrina. Hi, everyone. And just like everybody else, congratulations on your admissions to Lehigh. We're so excited for you. And I'm here today as the representative from the Center for Career and Professional Development. I am the Director of Career Education. And that means that I work with our senior director and our team of coaches to set strategy on how we will engage students in career development through their 4 years here at Lehigh. I can talk to you a little bit today about the fact that we have a liaison model. So students within the College of Business, similar to like Jodine, we have liaisons for each of the colleges, which allows us to really form great partnerships with the colleges. It allows for sharing of communication, collaboration, also again, setting strategy. There's also the opportunity for more specialized resources and services for the students, and for recruiting purposes. It allows our employers to really understand how to engage students from each of the colleges. I can talk to you about our 2 very important platforms, Handshake, which is the top recruiting platform. Over 500,000 employers recruit through Handshake. We also have Lehigh Connects, which is our alumni and networking platform. As Shakita mentioned, we have a wonderful partnership with the College of Business with the Student to Professional program, as well as integration into the Biz One course. And I can tell you more about our career lab and career coaching, as well as maybe if you have questions regarding our first destination report, which just released for the class of 2020. So pleased to be here and look forward to your questions.
Terrific. I think I'm gonna start the question with one that we usually get in live sessions first, although I'm beginning to see some questions come in otherwise. One of the first questions is, all right, I've decided that Lehigh is the right school for me. How does it start? What am I going to see? So perhaps maybe we could hear from Emily Ford to tell us a little bit from the advising side, but I know this also touches a lot on the Dean of Students Office and Housing. And incidentally, Katie, I see you in front of one of our wonderful residence halls, at least virtually, right? So Emily, why don't we start with you to talk a little bit about the student experience at the point they decide that they are coming to Lehigh, and tell us more.
Sure. So once we know that you're coming to Lehigh, we'll be in touch with you shortly thereafter. You'll receive an email. Email is our primary mode of communication, so you want to make sure that you check your Lehigh email account often. So we'll reach out to you to help you understand a timeline for the summer, what to expect. Your registration for fall classes will happen in July. So we'll be in touch with you, helping you understand your curriculum and what classes you'll be registering for the fall. And just so you'll have that kind of first point of contact with your advisor and know who to contact with any types of questions. So that's the first step from our side.
And do tell me, will they be able to get into those large intro classes?
Yes, we will make sure that you get into classes that you need to make academic progress, for sure.
There aren't that many of them. I think in the first year, Eco 1 is big, but it's taught by folks who do really well in large environments, which you will see when you come to Lehigh. Lori McLean, could you tell us a little bit about I guess the Office of the First Year may have already been in contact?
Yeah, so much of what Dean Ford was sharing is that information will be coming out to students in May about what the fall experience will be about, and we'll detail that process in terms of registration, but also give students a heads up on what the fall is going to look like. And if we have to look ahead, it's, orientation begins on August 19th. And the first day of class is August 23rd. This is sneaking up on me, but anyway, we'll move on. But our orientation begins on August 19th. And just the quick rundown is, our new student orientation program is really geared towards making sure that students are acclimated to the Lehigh experience. And so our orientation program, students will be put in small groups that are led by orientation leaders who are peer students who've gone through just a great amount of training, just to make sure that they have the resources that can help you in your transition. The purpose of or kind of maybe the highlights of what's covered in that 4-day experience is, mainstay is wanting to connect students to other students. So lots of icebreakers and ways just to get to know other people. We'll be introducing folks to all the campus support resources that can be available to them should they need them at any point during the course of their experience at Lehigh. We also just have conversations around just the evolving roles of students, kind of who are you, kind of who's the professor, in high school versus the teacher, the professor in college versus the teacher in high school, your guidance counselor in high school versus your academic advisor in college, just really being able to kind of tease those pieces out. And then also just having conversations on just social topics and issues of responsibility, just as it relates to, diversity and our commitment to our community, alcohol, gender violence education, campus safety, et cetera. So again, just the overall piece of just wanting to make sure that we're really introducing students to all of those things that they may be experiencing at various points during their Lehigh experience.
So tell me about housing. What's happening in that front?
Sure. Once students have deposited, in early May, we'll be sending out information to students as far as what the housing timeline looks like. Typically, most students do live on campus. We do have a small percentage of commuting students as well. But if you do choose to live on campus, and we certainly hope that you do, because there's many advantages to living on campus, you'll get information about what the timeline will look like. As I said, typically around May 20th is when we'll launch our first year housing application. So in that housing application, you will get to preface a couple of things. And the one thing students will always ask is, can I preface what building I want to live in? We do have 8 residence halls for first year students on campus, and you can't actually preface which one you would like to live in. What we do is we offer 7 first-year themed housing options. And we partner with our friends in Dean of Students and Residence Life to program around 7 different themes. And you can preface on that application if you're interested in any of those themes. For the fall, the themes will be Arts Alive, First Gen, Choice, which is substance-free, Live, Learn, Serve, which is based around community service, Global Lehigh, STEM, and Umoja. So there will be information about what each of those communities are, and then you can sign up to live in them, or you can sign up just for standard residential experience as well. Again, that contract will come out on the 20th of May. You will also have the opportunity during that time to connect with other folks who have deposited. If you want to match as roommates, you can do that. And as long as you and your roommate both match with each other, you are welcome to live together, and we can guarantee that that housing for you. There's also single rooms available as well as triple rooms in our first year housing areas. So those are all of the things that you're able to preface, and there will be more information being emailed again in early May once you have deposited.
I know somebody's very eager and they want to know the questions on the housing forms, but I guess they'll be finding out soon enough. Do you want to give a little preview?
Oh, sure. So there are several, and pardon me, I probably will not hit them all, but I'll give you some highlights. Some of the things that we will ask to try to match students for their living preferences are, what time do you go to sleep? How clean do you like the room? What's your level of tolerance with noise? Some of those standard things, so that we can try to ensure that you have a good roommate match. And if that does not happen, when you do have some conflict, which does happen from time to time, we do have Griffins, which is what we call our resident advisors here at Lehigh, who are on each floor and able to help kind of mediate some of those conflicts if they do come up. The other thing I will say too, it's almost a 50-50 split these days as far as students who either request each other or decide to just go random, answer the questions, and hope that they get someone that is matched well. And typically they are. Again, we do have some issues from time to time, but we do have an infrastructure that's able to kind of handle that and help students through those situations.
And so that form goes out around the May 20th-ish timeframe, later May. Okay, good
Correct.
to know. Okay, so we had questions earlier in our day today, and I know there are probably questions coming in around internships and when they happen and how do you get ready for that. So maybe Shakita, Karen, maybe you can give us some insight into the internship process. I think folks were amazed we don't require internships, but our students do them. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Should I go first, Shakita?
Sure, go ahead.
Or do you, okay. Or we can talk about it together too. Just with regards to internships, students will have access to the Handshake platform that I mentioned earlier when you register. So we have a process with the registrar's office that integrates the students' information over to Handshake. So you're automatically set. We encourage students to learn about Handshake early, and Shakita, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's integrated into the Biz 1 course as well. So they learn about it in Biz 1. And then the other piece is that it's also really good to learn about because there are on-campus jobs posted in Handshake, as well as all over the work study positions. So to become familiar with it early on is a good practice, as well as then it prepares you that to search for internships, or actually, quite honestly, leadership programs are posted there through companies, as well as other experiential learning opportunities. There's employer information sessions. So employers will be hosting events and right now virtually, which I think we'll continue to see for a little bit. And then it is not, students can actually have an internship or try for an internship in the summer between freshman year and sophomore year. It's not that it's mandatory. It's not something you have to have. And there's lots of other ways to gain experience. And then, as you progress, we continue to see students obtaining internships in their sophomore year, and then most definitely between junior year and senior year. So, and Shakita, if I covered some enough, or if there's other things you want to add in.
Yeah, I would just add, when we talk about our student to professional program, that's really starting from your first year. So you have all of these resources. We want to make sure that you're connecting with them, that you're figuring out what you need to do to prepare. So as Karen mentioned, you're taking Biz 1, the Foundations of Business course. Part of that course, you'll have a professional development series during the recitations, where we're talking to you about where do you find these online resources? How do you log in? How do you write a networking email? How do you find somebody on Lehigh Connects? Because we realize if we just tell you, okay, we have all of these platforms, that can be a little bit intimidating. So we want to make sure we're also laying out the roadmap in terms of how you use them and use them successfully. One of my favorite parts in Biz 1 is we also have a speed networking session, which we were able to have virtually this past semester, where each student, you're actually giving your elevator pitch to an alumni volunteer. And I think for students, it's nice to have that real world practice in a no stakes environment, right? We'd rather you get the nerves out during a session like this than when it's with the employer, or with the real opportunities. So I think, again, all of these types of preparation are so that when it is the real deal, our students are comfortable with the scenario.
How wonderful it is that students get involved in that right from the first semester. And it counts as part of their project. It helps them get information in context. It's just really, really well integrated in the Career Center, Center for Career and Professional Development, that is nicely, aptly displayed behind Karen. I assume you're not really there, but it looks great. And by Shakita and Christine Russell, who comes from the CCPD, Center for Career Professionals, really awesome. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, speaking of where you are, to talking about study abroad. There's some questions. I know we even had them earlier today about for study abroad, is there anything you need to consider to stay on track with courses? What kind of opportunities are available? And I realize it's a little trickier now with the travel restrictions and the like, but tell us a little bit more about those types of question areas.
Excellent questions. And also to add on to internships, students can also do global internships as well, even after their first year. Generally, students will do that after their sophomore year. We have 2 faculty actually led programs in normal times where they can go to Prague and do an internship there, or Shanghai and also do an internship there. Also, we work with a lot of partner providers who are study abroad. That's all they do is study abroad. And they also have internships. This past year, students have been doing, even though travel isn't happening, we still are doing a lot of virtual global internships this year. Students are having the opportunity to do the Lehigh in Prague program virtually, where they're having an internship with a company in Prague, and then also taking a course for credit as well. So they're getting 6 credits. So there's a lot of opportunities to study abroad. You can study abroad as early as your first year. We're hoping that we have, we're hoping that maybe in August that there might be a group that is actually traveling. If not, then we're hoping that we have a few students, a handful of students that are going to be going abroad in the fall semester. And then by winter and the spring, that should be up and running again. We're optimistic anyway. And so you can go for short-term studying abroad, taking classes, or doing, like I said, an internship, doing research, even service learning. You can also go for a semester study abroad. You can do that starting your sophomore year. And you can even go for a full year if you plan way ahead of schedule. So starting in your freshman year, it would be great to start meeting you. And so we can start planning. We work very closely with Emily and her team and to help students figure out what their academic needs are when they're studying abroad. And then also I work one-on-one with students to figure out what their goals are personally, academically, and of course, even professionally, what they want to do, as a career too. And hopefully the study abroad can help that achieve some of those goals.
You really are a world-class office, and you're the best global liaison a college could ever have. Thank you.
Thank you.
On the theme of global, Katie, I'm going to throw a question your way. It was asked, is the Global Lehigh Theme Housing designed for international students?
Sure. So basically, any student who wants to sign up for the Global Lehigh community can certainly do so. It is programmed around for both domestic and international students who are interested in learning more about world cultures and a way to promote better international understanding among both domestic and international students. So anyone is welcome to sign up for that community. But like I said, the thing about the themed communities that's a little bit different from the rest of the residential population is that the residence life staff, the Griffin staff on those floors will program around that particular theme. So again, it is open to anyone, and that's just kind of how they're going to program around it.
Good to know. It was a great question. Keep them coming. Put those questions in that question and answer box. Let's see, we really want to make sure we answer your questions. So there's a question here, Emily, it looks like it's more in your domain. What AP and IB scores are required to earn credit? I'm not sure we have all the answers to that yet, but perhaps you can give some framework.
Right. Yeah. So mostly at Lehigh, we mostly accept 4s and 5. I would say 5s in most subjects. We'll send, when we send information about registration, we'll send a list of what equivalents are, just to kind of, I'm thinking about the first year classes. We have students that sometimes place out of like Eco 1 or math through the math exam. Trying to think of others, English, any kind of AP credits will definitely help. They could help with your non-business requirements, humanities, social science, those types of classes. So I know students have the AP credits definitely help students get ahead.
Good to know. So next thing, this is more on the Karen side, I believe. It says, have you been able to continue recruiting events even with in-person constraints? And can you share how do students find internships?
Sure, absolutely. We have been very successful, and the students have been very successful in maintaining our recruiting relationships. So this year we hosted 2 virtual career expos, one in the fall and one in the spring. And as I said, Handshake is our recruiting platform, and they immediately jumped on board and developed a new piece of the platform that allowed for integration for the Career Expo experience. So the other thing is that students can find all of that information through Handshake. So even employers were hosting more smaller, intimate kinds of information sessions that were really smaller recruiting events as well. On a weekly basis, there is so much information within Handshake of opportunities to take advantage of. And then with regards to internship recruiting, I believe that was the other part of the question, Katrina, is that correct? In order to find internship opportunities, all of them are posted within Handshake. On a daily basis, we're seeing about 200 opportunities per day coming into the platform. And then if students have questions regarding how to apply, or they're confused about the use of Handshake, questions on their resumes and cover letters, they have the opportunity to come into our career lab, which we've been running virtually, and that's we offer the hours, about 25 hours a week. The students can come in, and we have our coaches and trained career interns who support you with questions on Handshake, your resume, your cover letter, questions about the company. And then we also have more personalized career coaching appointments that are available to support you in that process. But lots of information and support available to assist you in the process.
We want our business students to be successful. Chiquita.
Yeah, so if I could just add on, and our students are connected in so many different ways. I have to give a shout out for our student clubs and organizations, because they're so connected with our employer partners and with the Center for Career and Professional Development. So also through the clubs, employers are on campus hosting different types of workshops or events, or just all sorts of things. I know we had a group that had a deeper dive into, even how to utilize Excel in the workplace, collaborating with an employer partner. So the clubs are very involved. And then also, once our students declare a major, the departments are another critical piece for staying connected. The departments are always mailing out opportunities as they come across the desk. So again, it's all very collaborative amongst, the Center for Career and Professional Development, all of the different departments and teams at Lehigh, just to make sure our students are connected to opportunities.
And that your response actually connects to another one here about how can I get, what kinds of different types of clubs are available in business? How could I participate in as a freshman? I would like to ask Danielle, our admissions counselor, could you chat out our brochure again, just in case we have any newcomers who haven't gotten that earlier? And I'm going to throw this question first to Chiquita, but Lori, I know that student activities are just immense across the university. So why don't we start with Chiquita in business and then kind of blow it out to a larger university standpoint?
Sure. So within business specifically, we have 16 clubs that are recognized as business clubs. That ranges from the departmental clubs, so accounting club, finance, business information system clubs, to some different affinity groups, the Lehigh Minority Business Alliance, Women in Business, to Mead Group. And so all of them are immensely active. And even in this virtual world we're operating in, that has not slowed them down in the least. They've still provided so much programming, keeping their club members connected. And so the easiest way to get involved is each semester we host a business club fair where you can sign up to be on the email list, and then from there, attend the meetings or different events. Our office also sends out a weekly e-newsletter email that highlights, here are the upcoming events for the week, again, just to keep students in the know. So anytime that things look appealing, we encourage you to attend and get involved.
And then I'll just add to that, as a part of orientation is again, wanting to get to connect students and get them involved. On Monday, the first day of class, the university always sponsors a university and club expo. So in a non-COVID year, that experience is huge numbers of students coming on to the front lawn, and all the clubs and organizations just yelling at people, come over here, sign up for this, sign up for that, et cetera, et cetera.
And they give out donuts too, I heard.
Exactly. I was gonna say, I'm not a college student, but I would always find myself out there at that time to get food. But it's a great opportunity for students to learn about different clubs and organizations. No pressure in terms of, oh my gosh, if I sign up, do I have to move, do I need to stick with it? It's just an opportunity, again, to just get familiar and just see people and kind of what are some opportunities to engage. Given COVID, it was limited in terms of we were able to do the same thing, and much to what Shakita was talking about, clubs and organizations are still doing what they need to be doing in terms of keeping students connected and such. We just translated that over into the online format without the food, but still that opportunity for folks to be able to connect. We have over 200 clubs and organizations that are offered at Lehigh, socially based, major academically focused, honor societies, et cetera, et cetera. So students are really hard pressed not to find something that they would be interested in. And if there is something that you're like, wow, I really wish this club was here, I have this interest, but it's not there, you can create it. Basically just pulling in a few folks together, kind of get a little chart or a little description together, and you can have that club in place. So just lots of opportunities for students to get involved. And we really kind of put that information out in the very beginning of the academic year, just so that it's there. I know that some students are quick to maybe get involved really quickly and just do, a lot of things at the beginning of their Lehigh experience. Some might hold out and wait until they figure out, wow, what's the academic piece going to look like? But there'll be plenty, again, opportunities and multiple points of entry to get connected in with clubs and organizations on campus.
I just think it's so exciting to hear how there's so many spaces and places where you can get connected. And I know in the Res Life phenomenon, there's a lot of conversation there too about what's involved. Maybe Katie, could you tell us a little bit about what information the students might get in residence?
Sure. And one of the things I kind of wanted to bridge off of what Lori just said, when I talked about those first year themed communities, we also have second year and upper class themed communities as well. And a lot of those are student driven. So as Lori said, if you have an interest and you have a couple of friends, you can get together and come up with a living learning community on campus to where, you can all live together. In the past, we've had things like Fit Living. We've had folks who were into video gaming, computer programming, all of those kinds of things. So the programming that goes on within the residence halls, and Laura, you may be able to talk from a residence life standpoint about some of this as well. Everything ranges from community building in the halls, and that's been a little bit challenging this year with all of our COVID-19 challenges. But we are hoping to get back to as normal as we can for fall 2021. I know that's a little bit further off at the moment, but as of right now, we're planning for a relatively normal fall, which would include the community building within the residence halls, programs where students just get together and watch sporting events or movies or those kinds of things. And then they also do educational component things as well. Like I said, Laura, I don't know if you have any more information on specific residential programming.
I think you captured it. I think the one piece I would add is certainly, when students are coming to campus in the residence halls, there are those opportunities for that group engagement, kind of bringing, on special topics, et cetera, but we also have G-chats. Those are our Griffin chats. And so those happen over the course of the semester. And it's an opportunity for our Griffins to check in with students individually, just to see how things are going, if they're feeling connected, if they have any questions and concerns and things like that. So that's another way in which we look to connect and engage with students. And I would say, through that experience, if Griffin Griffins are picking up on some themes like, maybe multiple folks in my hall have said X, Y, or Z. Wow, maybe I need to kind of shift what we're doing, or maybe there might be a program in which I can address this or pull students in, just depending on what their needs and interests are.
I have to say, oh, you go.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, as I'm listening to you, my mind is flipping through. You mentioned Griffins because they're like the resident assistants in the student resident assistants in the housing, and my mind is flipping to different business students who are pivoting clubs in the business school, but they're also a Griffin, or they're an orientation leader or training other orientation leaders, and then they're in the Dreyfus portfolio. I mean, our students personalize. So I think one of the neat things I'm hearing is this engagement in campus with students outside the business school, as well as a real strong business student community. And that's really exciting. I'm going to switch it over a little bit. There's another question here about double majoring. We heard a lot of questions about double majoring and kind of multiple credentialing earlier in the morning. And here's a question about if I plan to double major, which might be in the business college or maybe even, with a dual degree. And I would love to study abroad as well. Is there a way or a help available for me to plan all this and fit it all in? Joe, this is like an Emily, Jodine /
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the first step would be to develop an academic plan. So you would work with your academic advisor to map out perhaps, and we make these plans all the time with students. So say a student says, I want to do a major in finance and economics, and I want to study abroad in spring of my junior year, and I want to do a data science minor. And that's not uncommon to hear a lot of different combinations. So we'll work with the student and map out exactly what they would need to take to achieve their goal. The important part is planning ahead. We do have plenty of students that do double majors and that fit in a lot during their time at Lehigh. So as long as you plan ahead and work with your advisor and with the study abroad office, I think we can make it a reality.
Come on, Jodine. I know you have more to add to that.
Yeah, I was definitely going to say the key is to plan early. And the earlier that you meet with your academic advisor and then to meet with me, then we can start looking to see what opportunities there are that you can maybe, if you need a business class, there are some programs that students can take certain business courses abroad too for the semester. So the key again is to start planning early.
I keep hearing that theme, and I think I like to brag that our business students are on their game. Well, for the most part, for most things, when it comes to deadlines, that's what good business behavior. So we're really keen on that, and planning is a very important business skill. Quick question here about alumni. I think we heard a lot about alumni from the faculty. I mean, alumni are highly engaged in the curriculum. To what extent do you see alumni engagement on the campus? Where do you see alumni activity happening? I think this will probably throw first to Shakita and Karen and anybody else who chooses. Jodine, I know the alumni have been real generous in our study abroad activity, but tell us more about our alumni engagement.
Sure, I'm happy to start it off. So, our Lehigh alum love to connect with current students. We have such a strong alumni network. So you heard me mention that Biz One Foundations of Business course and the speed networking event. Although virtual this past fall, we had 36 alums who logged in to Zoom for the class to hear those elevator pitches for students. So I think whatever the ask is, they're always willing. We also ran a speaker series in the fall featuring alumni speakers who, in some ways that was one of the perks, if you will, about being virtual, is that without the limitation of asking people to come to campus, it was so much easier to even connect with alums. And, I could have somebody who's in Texas take an hour out of their day to sit with a group of students and present. So our alumni have been fantastic.
And from the Career Center perspective, what I love about it is with a recruiting piece, our alumni come back. They are part of our Career Expo. So almost half of the individuals who come and attend the Career Expo are our alumni. And when we are on campus, they are part of the recruiting events during the day. Like Katrina was saying, that is the office behind me. So it happened more virtually clearly this year, but and then also with regards to connecting with our alumni, we have the Lehigh Connects platform, and that is an opportunity for students to connect directly to Lehigh alumni within maybe their industry of interest, or maybe they're trying to decide on a major and related to kind of their interest. They can connect with alums and search by major. They can search by industry area. They can also search for alums who are involved in some activities that they're interested in. So if you're an athlete, you can search for alums who are also athletes. And lots of opportunities there, even starting. We always say start, like Jody would say, start early, develop the plan early, begin networking and connecting with our alumni in your first year, and then continue doing that every year, because one, you get more practice, you open up the door to more opportunity, and it's a great professional habit to develop early on. And we at the Career Center, and I know through Shakita's work, we can help you on just how to craft the message to reach out, and how to continue the conversation as that develops too. So lots of support to help you through that process.
So my last question here is actually from a student, and I love it because they're planning early. And they say, when will we be assigned our academic advisor, and will they help us create our freshman year schedule? So this person is on their game. I hope you're coming to Lehigh. Emily Ford.
Yes, exciting. So you're assigned an academic advisor right from the very beginning. So once you accept, we'll reach out to you. The way we assign advisees is based on first letter of last name. We split it up. So you'll have an academic advisor right away, and you'll be able to work with that advisor to build your fall schedule. And you can even, now with that, we're also comfortable with Zoom. We can set up appointments for the summer to meet with you and connect with you. So I would say right from the very start.
Mm-hmm. One of the goals is, with the orientation that we have with our advisors and with the dean of students, you're going to start running. You're going to start hitting the ground running. By the time that first day of classes go, you're going to be ready to go. In our final 2 minutes, we're going to impress our audience with a rapid round of one word that describes the Lehigh experience from your perspective. Everybody's grappling. So just unmute, say your word. Come on, Emma. Oh, who's going to go first? Jodine.
Opportunity.
All right. Laura McLean.
Intentional.
Ooh, good one. Katie.
Community.
Emily Ford.
Connection.
Shakita Griffin.
Personalized.
Karen, you're the last one. Karen.
Oh, the pressure. I think immersive. Just opportunity.
Also say fun too. Fun. Someone said fun. We can do that. It's a given. It's a given.
They said fun in the faculty panel too, so we have some consistency going on here. Well, in our final minute, I want to thank everybody who's been here today. It's been a long day, but it's been hopefully an extremely information-packed day. I'd encourage you, if you have any questions, to reach out. Emily, what's the email that people can send questions to? Business?
Sure, businessadvising@lehigh.edu.
Okay, so if you have any questions more specifically about your schedules or anything, we can actually self-direct you to different locations. And I want to thank those who are reaching us to thank us from our audience. I hope you have a great rest of the summer. Any more questions, please refer them to us. Go to your admissions counselor, and we really hope to see you in the fall. Go Lehigh Business, go Lehigh. Thank you very much. Thank you, panel.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.